John, do you think the Eagles are at a disadvantage with Nick Sirianni as their head coach being an offensive guy who doesn't necessarily add a schematic advantage like someone like that?
No, it's I talk no. Head coach is a different job. He's not the offensive coordinator.
I know,
You
but
know,
don't you? I
it's
mean, if you have an offensive-minded head coach, they're always gonna have input on the offense. Like someone said, "Well, this has Nick's hands all over the offense." I'm like, no shit. He's an offensive guy who's the head coach of the team. First off, the whole team is up to him. Basically, he's the head coach, and he's an offensive backgrounded guy. Obviously he's going to take a liking to it or be like, hey, what are we doing in here? Hey, what's going on over here? Hey, why don't we do this? Why don't we try this? Is there a disadvantage to having that and not feeling as though he provides the level of offensive acumen that some of the other ones do?
I mean, I've always been, long before I've even known Nick Sirianni's name, I've been a CEO coach guy. I would rather have a CEO coach. I want a head coach who's involved with the entire team. I don't want
Do you think Nick's a
to,
good CEO coach?
yeah, I think he's a great CEO coach.
I agree. I was just asking.
Um, all these, first of all, it comes from the people who think the whole thing is scheme and nothing else matters, which I think is dumb. The whole thing is X's and O's, where the other stuff is so much more important. But again, it's intangible, so people don't value it. So is scheme, but at least they can point to offensive numbers and say, well, this guy's great because this. And it's usually personnel more than anything else. Then you have the group that say, well, they lose coordinators every year. Everybody loses coordinators. Well, okay, Kyle Shanahan, who, by the way, is not a great head coach, but he's a great play caller and great play designer. Maybe, he's the architect of, and actually his father, but really the most successful and influential offensive system since Bill Walsh. Let's put it that way. No doubt about it. I don't think he's a great head coach. So he doesn't do the other stuff well. And he loses people for the opposite reason. Well, Mike McDaniel hit a ceiling. Matt LaFleur hits ceiling. Robert Saleh hits a ceiling.
Is there a perfect world where the fusion of the two is the best scenario while being unlikely?
Well, Bill Walsh.
Yeah, I mean now.
It's really hard to do that job because it's such a big job if you're bogged down with the fine details of the X's and O's. If you delegate, there's just a million different ways to do things. Like if you delegate well and you trust your assistants to build up the game plan and you're just calling the plays, maybe. But you can't do all that and be the head coach of a football team. In my opinion, I wouldn't want it if I'm an owner. Obviously, you can. There's a lot, and Kyle's a very successful head coach. I'm not saying he's not, but I'm saying to be at the highest optimal level, like you're doing the best job possible. There's not enough time in the day to do X's and O's and everything from game planning to actual play calling in the game to do all the other stuff you have to do as a head coach and do it successfully. It's too big of a job. So if you can delegate and you trust your guys, sure. I mean,
Is Sirianni's seat even mildly warm this year?
Well, if they lose a bunch of games, sure. But no, I don't think going into the season, no.
What if they go 11-6 again and get bounced in round one and the offense is ugly?
It depends what it looks like. I mean, are they getting blown out? Is the offense ugly? If they get blown out and the offense is ugly, yeah, it'll be warm. He'll have to, at the bare minimum, go in and sell his plan and why it's going to get better. And Jeffrey might say, yeah, I've heard this before. So, I mean, the expectations are what they are, and one and done in an ugly fashion is not going to be positive.
No, I agree.
They're certainly not going to make Sean Mannion the head coach.
No, I agree with that.
You know, if you kind of put yourself in a box if you're the Eagles from the standpoint of, like, in that situation that you just threw out there, or you can fire the head coach, but then you're overturning the whole thing again because the new head coach, whoever you bring in, is going to want his own guys.
Yeah, right.
Now you can a couple guys, you know. You can
I think this is a great question, John. Listen to this. Riding the bench says this. With the Eagles and with the setup in Philly, is the CEO coach really the best archetype? Vic has the defense, and we keep rotating OCs. Wouldn't it be better to have a play caller in Philly specifically because of Vic?
I don't know how Vic affects it. I mean, they got lucky.
You don't need somebody to control the defense. What the heck is Nick Sirianni going to tell Vic Fangio about defensive football?
No, but you know, Vic's very unique, obviously. And that's part of being a smart CEO coach. You don't have a fucking problem there. That's called delegation. The problem is when you have Sean Desai and you gotta stick your foot in there, the door. They got lucky with it. If you're smart, you get the fuck out of the way. And if you start meddling with Vic Fangio, you're probably making things work. Like you know, understand hiring good people and letting them do their job is the number one aspect of delegation. The whole point of it is that you're the CEO. Now you hope
so you more view that as a successful form of delegation as opposed to the system could be different because of Vic.
Well, no, I think it's I don't understand your point there, but I think it's self-explanatory.
No, I'm not making a point. I'm asking if you don't view Vic as a reason to change. You view Vic as a proof of success.
Well, Vic, but it's not even proof of success because Vic is so unique in the fact that he's the best defensive coordinator in football. He's from the area. He wanted to end his career in the area because of his family. So he kind of lucked out. Ultimately, he's not going to be coaching for much longer. So, you know, you're going to live the other side of it again a little bit too quickly, probably, unfortunately. So I don't know if it's a sign of success or the sign of the other way. It's neither. He's a unicorn and you lucked into it. And but as a CEO coach, you don't upset the apple cart. But the thing, you know who the longest tenured offensive coordinator in the NFL is right now? Any guesses? Anybody?
Well, it's probably so short. What is it? I don't know.
It's 2022. And it's Wes Phillips, who is the offensive coordinator in Minnesota, which means he isn't the offensive coordinator because Kevin O'Connell is. And Adam Stenovich in Green Bay, who is, again, not the offensive coordinator. Matt LaFleur is. Like, this holding on to coordinators bullshit doesn't exist in the modern NFL. It doesn't exist. 2022.
So it makes sense. You're saying, why would you optimize for something that's going to be here no longer than 2 or 3 years?
It's just part of it. It's not even about liking it. It's just part of it. You either fail and you get fired, or you do well and you get promoted. And the Eagles have done well, and guys got jobs, and they've done lowered expectations, and guys get fired. There's no law that said the Eagles couldn't be patient with Brian Johnson or Kevin Petula. They don't have any patience.
Fair enough. All right, good answer. All right, John.